Hey, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are decoding the secret language of price. We're going to pull back the curtain on those invisible forces that decide how much you pay for, well, everything, from your morning coffee to a plane ticket. And trust me, by the end of this, you are never going to look at a price tag the same way again. So, have you ever wondered about this? I mean, really thought about it? It feels totally random, right? But it's not. It's all the result of a powerful, constant battle that's happening behind the scenes. And today, we're going to solve that mystery together. All right, so to crack this price puzzle, you first have to get this one idea. Every single price you see is basically the result of a negotiation, a constant tug of war between two really powerful opposing forces. So on one side of the rope, you've got demand. That's you, me, all of us, the buyers, representing everything we want. And on the other side, that's supply. That represents what producers are able and willing to sell us. It's this constant battle, this tug of war, that sets pretty much every price you see. Okay, so let's get to know our two main characters here, because they each play by a very simple and, completely opposite set of rules. So first up, let's talk about demand. And the law of demand is super intuitive. It's simple. When something gets cheaper, we want to buy more of it. When it gets more expensive, we want less. I mean, it just makes sense, right? We all love a good deal. All right, now let's flip over to supply. And sellers, well, they're working with the exact opposite logic. It's simple. If they can get a higher price for something, they're way more motivated to make and sell more of it. It's all about maximizing that profit. Okay, so you've got buyers who want low prices and sellers who want high prices. It sounds like a total stalemate, right? How does anything ever actually get sold? Well, this is where it gets really cool. We're about to see what happens when these two forces meet and find their perfect balance. Just look at this table. It lays out the whole conflict perfectly. Check this out. At just $1, buyers are going crazy. They want 60 of these things. But sellers, they're barely interested, only offering up 5. Now jump up to $3, and suddenly sellers are all in, but the buyers are backing off. But look right there in the middle. At $2, something magical happens. The numbers are exactly the same. And you can see this visually too. At almost any price, one side wants more than the other can provide. It's totally out of sync. But then you hit that $2 mark, and boom, everything lines up perfectly. That's the sweet spot. That's where the market finally agrees. And that sweet spot, it actually has a name. It's called the equilibrium price. It is the one single price where the market is perfectly balanced, or cleared, as economists say. This means no extra stuff left on the shelves, and no one who wanted one going home empty-handed. It's perfect harmony. But what if the price isn't perfect? I mean, it doesn't just magically start at that equilibrium point, right? So what happens when it's all out of whack? How does the market fix itself? Well, let's say the price is too high. We're back at $3 again. This creates what's called a surplus, or, excess supply. Just picture shelves overflowing with stuff that nobody's buying. What are the sellers going to do? They have to compete. So they start dropping the price, pushing it right back down toward that $2 equilibrium. And yeah, you guessed it, the exact opposite happens on the flip side. If the price is way too low, like our $1 example, you get a shortage. Now you've got empty shelves and tons of people who want to buy. What happens? Well, those eager buyers start bidding against each other, offering more money, and that pushes the price up, right back towards $2. And this is what's so cool about it. It's kind of like the magic of the market. It's this amazing self-correcting system. That natural push and pull always works to get rid of shortages and surpluses, constantly guiding the price back to that stable, happy middle ground. Okay, so we've got the stable state down. Makes sense. But let's be real, the world is anything but static. What happens when something totally new comes along? A huge health trend, a brand new technology, and just completely throws that perfect balance out the window. Okay, scenario 1. Let's imagine our product suddenly goes viral. Some huge influencer posts about it, and now everyone has to have it. So demand just skyrockets. What happens to our nice, neat little equilibrium now? Well, the result is pretty clear. Both the price and the number of items sold are going to go up. Think about it. You've got way more people fighting for the same amount of stuff, so they start outbidding each other. That pushes the price up to a whole new higher equilibrium. And of course, when sellers see those higher prices, they're more than happy to make more to meet all that new demand. All right, now let's try a different story. What if some genius invents a new machine that makes our product way cheaper and faster to produce? See, this time, the big change is coming from the supply side. And this? This is awesome news for us, the buyers. Because production is suddenly so much easier, sellers can flood the market with more product. And to get you to buy it, they compete by lowering their prices. So you end up with a new equilibrium at a lower price. And because it's such a great deal, way more of it gets sold. It's a win-win. Okay, you've totally got this. You know how a single shift works. So now it's time for the final boss battle. Let's tackle a more complex, more realistic scenario where everything is changing at the same time. This is the ultimate test, because in the real world, it's almost never just one thing changing at a time. So what happens when both demand and supply shift at the exact same time? Here's the puzzle for you. Let's say everybody gets a raise, so consumer incomes go up. That's going to increase demand, right? But at the same time, the cost to actually make the product goes up, which is going to decrease supply. So, where does the market land? What happens to the price? And what happens to the quantity sold? And the answer here is actually really interesting. The price? It is absolutely 100% going to go up, significantly. Just think about it for a second. You have more people with more money chasing after fewer goods. Both of those things are pushing the price in the same direction, up. But what about the quantity, the amount that gets sold? Well, that's the tricky part. It's uncertain. It really becomes a tug of war. If the demand shift is huge, maybe the quantity still goes up a bit. But if the supply problem is really bad, the total quantity sold could actually fall. Without knowing which of those shifts is bigger, the effect on quantity is a total question mark. And that right there is the real power of what we've just talked about. You have basically just unlocked the secret language of the market. Now you can see that invisible tug of war happening behind every single price tag you see. So the next time you go to buy a cup of coffee, just stop and think for a second. What's setting that price? Was there a bad harvest in Colombia? Did some new coffee trend just take over social media? You now have the tools to figure it out.